Hello everybody and welcome to day 14 of Vlogmas. I am more than halfway there, so that is very exciting because every day is a struggle to find something to talk to you about. And today, first of all, I've already filmed my I partially filmed my November's projects video, and I say partially because I have the part where I'm actually wearing the clothing, but then when I sat down to record, I recorded my, spiel, whatever, and then when I went to process it, I realized that it was all out of focus after I have put on this face. And to be perfectly honest with you, I am not in the mood to record today again, so I'm gonna leave it till tomorrow or maybe Monday. So now I am working on something new. I am starting to work on the Hey June new pattern, which is the Sheridan sweater. And let me show you here what I'm doing. I am tracing the pattern, and yes, it is a PDF pattern, and yes, I got it printed, but I love to trace everything, and a lot of times I just, if I have a PDF pattern that I got imprinted, I use PDF plotting, I will just cut the pattern. But because this one has a lot of views and I'm not sure which one I want to make, and there's some cropped versions and then some non-cropped versions, I decided to play it safe and trace the pattern. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm gonna try to insert a little picture here of the views if I can find it, but I'm making a combination. So I'm making view B that has a funnel type neck. I'm making the crop version, but I'm lengthening it 1 inch, and I'm making it with a hip band, so a hem band. And then instead of making the sleeves that have the elastic at the wrist, I am making the sleeves also with a band, which are the ones from view A, I think. Let me see. Right, so from view A, I have the instructions here on my tablet. Let me turn this around for a second and see if this actually works. Okay, so I'm making this one but cropped, and then I am doing these sleeves with the hemband. I think that's probably easier for you to see. I would normally probably shorten the sleeves, which is what I'm tracing now, but because they are supposed to be kind of like balloon sleeves, I'm gonna leave them be, and maybe if I need to adjust them, I'll do that later. But I'm thinking that I just want like big balloon puffy sleeves. So now I have my pattern pieces cut out. Let me show you the fabric I'm using. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think you can see it. It is very sparkly, and at first I thought that it was just like threads, but no, it's actually glitter. And a couple of nights ago, like a week ago, I threw it around me pretending to be Liberace, and there was glitter everywhere. So yes, this is gonna be a very, very extra kind of sweater. It's not actually a sweater, but like keeping in theme with my ridiculously colored clothing and super extra stuff lately. And I guess this is where I confess that I pretty much never follow the cutting layout on patterns. There's two reasons for that. One is I can't be bothered, and the second one is that those cutting layouts assume that you have a surface long enough and big enough to fold your fabric all in one at one time. So fold it all and lay everything down at one go, whereas the reality is that most of us have smaller tables and so have to cut things and lay them out in separate stages. And once you fold the fabric, cut a piece, unfold it to move it and then fold it again, you'll never get it back to the same fold you had before. So yeah, I just make it up as I go, to be honest, and I have yet to not have enough fabric. One of the great advantages of living in New York City as a dressmaker is having ready access to the garment district and all that it provides. It's really fantastic to just be able to go out there anytime you need anything, whether it's fabric or notions or perfectly matching thread or anything like that. It's really great to just have that access there. But the great downside to being a dressmaker in New York City is that if this is your hobby, so if you're doing this from home, chances are you just don't have an apartment big enough to accommodate a sewing room, and so things just have to happen in different spaces of your living quarters. If you noticed, where I was cutting my fabric, that was actually my dining room, and this room I'm in, which you've seen before, maybe from a different angle, is a very small room, probably the size of a walk-in closet in Florida, where I have my computer, which is here lighting my face right now, and I also keep my serger and my sewing machine here. And behind me is a pretty high, almost to the ceiling set of shelving units where I keep a lot of sewing magazines, patterns, and then some cookbooks and bags and odds and ends. But basically I do my sewing in 3 different rooms. I cut in my living room, I press in my bedroom where I have a pressing an ironing board set up that I put away, and then I sew in this room. So sometimes, depending on the day you ask me, I will give more weight to the advantage versus the disadvantage, but it can be a challenge. Getting there. I need to add the sleeve bands and the hemband, and the neckline needs the bejesus pressed out of it, but it's on my body and it goes all the way around my body, which is always a plus. Look at all that shine. Oh yeah. So for the first time in over 10 years of sewing, I've had a needle break while sewing something and hit me in the face. It is definitely not a pleasant experience, but the part that broke off and away from the needle was actually this middle section, so there wasn't the point on it. The bit with the point was still attached to the thread, and it hit me on the forehead and it bounced off. Yeah, that is scary, and every time I read stories about this happening to people, I'm like, well, thank God it's never happened to me. But now it has, and now I'm thinking that maybe I need to start sewing with like safety goggles on or something. Okay, so I think the serger is actually broken. I changed both needles, the one that broke and the other one just in case, but it's making a very weird noise, and the stitching is not great. It was enough to just finish the cuffs on this, but I'm gonna have to take it in to be serviced, which is always a pain in the butt because I don't have a car. I don't own a car, so for me to take the serger to my dealer, which is in Queens, I have to rent a car basically, and I'm gonna do that. But let me show you this sweater, quote unquote. I mean, look at that shine already. I am obsessed. Voila! These sleeves are everything, and it is so fabulous. It is fantastic. I mean, come on, who doesn't like this much shine on their bodies? Yep. I still have to press the neckline but I will do that tomorrow. Now, I have some thoughts on the construction process of the sweater, specifically the neckline, but I will leave that for when I do a review of the pattern. But suffice to say that even with things I would do differently, I still love it. I mean, this drape is amazing. I also think this fabric is great for this particular sweater if you're looking for something a little fancy but also like actually easy to put together and easy to wear. This is it. So in all my shining glory, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.